And what we do that's different at Property Investment Stories, we really like to educate the fear out of people. But it also starts by just listening to our clients. And we want to listen to identify what their purpose is, because property is nothing more than a means to an end. And so we want to arrive at their purpose to understand their goals. From there, we come up with strategies, and there's sometimes multiple strategies that can achieve those goals. And then we have the final thing, which is the solution. And we provide a few options that are all been researched and assessed and have their merit, but can have different comfort points for the investor. So when we talk about Property Investment Store, we've been doing this for 27 years, working in property and finance. And I don't have a cheat sheet, so I'm looking here. So what we focus on, we're very much numbers based in what we do, which is what I recommend everyone should do when it comes to property. If you're going to invest, there's no point getting emotionally involved in it. That can steer you wrong. So it's about identifying the property and researching and understanding how it looks when you do an analysis by the end of the day, and that's where we help our clients. It's what people have through us is access to a wide range of lenders and some excellent brokers who I work with in this room, as well as a strong network. You're only as successful as the team around you. It's one thing to have a great property and to pick the right location and all of that, but honestly, if you've got the wrong broker, they can kill your deal. They can mismanage what's possible with the equity that you have and stuff it up. It's happened. You might have an accountant who says, no, don't do that, and they have their own agendas and can steer you in a different direction that won't necessarily be to your advantage. You might have a conveyancer who is totally useless and doesn't even understand the contract. Yes, there's lots of those out there. We have a strong qualified team that we use ourselves. So we've put them to the test. We love what they do, and they're a strong team to ensure you're successful in your purchase. So they're just some of the key things about what we do. And we also offer end-to-end solutions. So with our high yielding options, co-living and NDIS, as well as coming up with the design and the build, you have peace of mind knowing you're going to get the return on investment because we have skin in the game. We actually source the tenants, we manage the property, which is then our endorsement of our product. It's also a way of ensuring our clients are looked after, that they're not ripped off. These areas can be manipulated by some. So we actually only set this up for our clients buying these properties so we can ensure that they do get these high returns of up to 14%. Okay, so who are the people that we help? You've got first-time investors. I love working with them. It's exciting, especially when they're young. Like, they're going to just be wealthy in just 10, 20 years. But we help all first-time investors, and they come at different ages. We also help people who are mums and dads who might want to reduce their debt. And then we've got those who are heading towards retirement. I've highlighted that in yellow because sort of leaning a little bit that way. If we're talking about cash flow, we need it all through our lives, but particularly we find those who are retiring, they really value the returns on our properties as effectively another full-time income. That's what it can equate to. So, did you know that the proportion of homeowners aged 55 to 64 who still have a mortgage has tripled? So it's gone up from 14% to 47%. This is where we're all heading. We're part of these statistics. So yeah, my parents paid off their home in their 40s. I can't even fathom that. We're all heading, even my original loan, I was going to be 61 by the time it was paid off. I had to quickly rework some things. So this is what's going on right now, and we need to be smart about how we can chip away at our mortgage, and that's where cash flow can be a real valuable tool, and just investing in property in general. I did talk about, last time I was here, I talked about how you can get equity from your home and turn it into something that can work for you. So you can still use that as a premise. But what I'm going to show you is what you can apply it to. So cash flow is king. When it comes to property investment, you've got two sides of the coin. You have growth that we're working towards, and then you've got cash flow. What if you could have both? That'd be nice. You can have your cake and eat it too. So this is an example of one of our co-living properties. Okay, it's over $800,000 to purchase, but you're going to be getting an income of gross, because everything's done on a gross level, of $1,200 per week. Potentially, it could be even more. We are being really conservative. And because we're managing the property, you can bet we're going to try and get it at that higher level, which you can't say about all property managers. So $1,200 a week for an 800K property. That's a return of 7.5%, right? So that's what you're looking at gross level. But what does that really mean when you look at a net outcome?
What is co-living?
Thank you. I wanted to explain it. So co-living is a regular 4-bedroom house. Okay, I think it actually says that there, right? 4 bedrooms, but it's got 4 bathrooms and a double garage. So the idea of a co-living is, instead of just having a family or one tenant, you now have 3 tenants. Who are they? They're working professionals, they're individuals. No, they're not students. Well, think about the number of people that are single out there. There are people who've never been married, there are widowers and widows, and then you've got those who are divorced. They need somewhere to live. And that's why, and we have very low vacancy rates, as I said, it's at 0.9%. And in some areas, it's more than 50% of the population are single. And it's those people who don't want to live in a unit, who can't afford to rent out a house in its entirety, that value this sort of property. The co-living model we have is that it's fully furnished. So everything's there for them, including the appliances. They just need to provide their bed furniture. They've got their own bedroom, their own bathroom, their own air conditioning unit, lockable pantry, so they're food safe, lockable linen cupboard, so they're linen safe, double garage. That 4th bedroom actually serves as a lounge for the 3 participants, because we only get a maximum of 3. It's a large build, I cannot stress that enough. The build has 200 square metres in size, and why that's important is they're not in each other's faces. Quite often we find the tenants that we would secure are on shift work anyway, but because there's a lot of people in that medical space who value co-living. Having said that, you've got 3 tenants, they've each got their own lease arrangement, no one person is more important than the other. You're talking to somebody who shared with 2 other people. It was a, 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. We were all women. Okay, just picture that, as opposed to having your own bedroom, your bathroom, nice new furnishings. It's got an outdoor area as well. So that's the co-living model that's really highly valued. Does that answer your question?
I didn't know
Thank
this was
you for
existing.
asking. So this is something that's in real need, and it's going to address the shortage of housing right now, because all of a sudden we can put more people into one home, and each year you're multiplying your income by 3. That's why it's getting higher returns as well. And on average, you can get around $400, maybe even $500 per tenant. Because what's happening when your vacancy rates are low, when the demand and the pressure is there, the rents are going up, right? So that's the situation we're in right now. Can you read those numbers?
No.
Yeah, it's really difficult, isn't it? So I'm going to just turn it and read it to you, because I'm afraid I didn't have time to print it out. But this shows, basically, it's a property investment analysis. You're more than welcome to come up and have a look. But the idea is we put in a person's income, we put in the cost of the property, what their outgoings will be. And then we also put in the tax depreciation. When you are buying new, you can depreciate your property by $50,000 in internal fittings, potentially more. And then you've got the external that's depreciated, and that's where you make massive savings and you get a healthier bottom line. So with a co-living, with this particular example, you're looking at between $200 to $300 per week net, based on 100% borrowing, right? You don't even have to part with any cash. You use the equity in your home, you leverage that, you get a loan on that, and then you can get this fully funded by the bank and pocket between $200 and $300 a week. Make sense? Okay, this is the next property solution. Can we see this one? All right, we love these ones. Everyone's come around to NDIS now. With interest rates going up, it's impacted the positively geared properties we used to sell. So a regular house and land package that once returned 5%, which means you didn't have to pay out of your pocket to fund it, they're now dropping. People who got in early, they're laughing, they're fine. But right now, it's very challenging. So everyone's coming to NDIS because you can get returns of up to 14%. We're actually getting more released today that are at that level. It's so high. And NDIS is a disability home. It's specialist disability accommodation. And what we do is we do it right. It's actually the reason I joined this company. They've got ethics and integrity, and they look after all the stakeholders, from the investor to the tenant. Our homes are designed and built for comfort, luxury, and they're beautiful. They are so popular, we've got carers ringing us asking, do you have a house here? Do you have a house there? Because they don't even look like a disability home. And I'll show you some photos to get that across. So this one's $970,000. You can see $2,700 gross per week. When you look at the numbers and we do a property investment analysis, if you borrow that full amount to purchase it, and you're purchasing it with two people of an income of around 200,000, you're going to easily pocket $1,000 net per week. Pretty good, right? And we know we can get the tenants because we have a 99% occupancy rate so far in 100 plus homes that we've built. So we've created a following where people are seeking us out. We also market the properties for our investors, and we keep the costs at a lower level just to stay functional and operational so that the investor can get the benefit. But the tenants are really thrilled with the quality of these homes. They house robust tenants, so they're people with mental disabilities, but we also cover fully accessible, those in wheelchairs that are still functioning but in wheelchairs, and then those who are improved livability, so they've got a milder disability. So it covers 3 different categories, but it's the robust tenant that gives you the higher income. The reason the income is so high is because you're getting 3 revenue streams out of it, and it's all funded by government. 25% of the disability person's pension goes toward it. Then you've got rental contribution schemes that's worth thousands of dollars that's funded in, and then the actual rental income itself. Every year, the government increases this funding. You don't even have to negotiate. So we have them on a 12-month lease, and it just rolls over because they don't want to move. They're happy where they are. Change is uncomfortable for them, and it just rolls over at that higher level as the funding keeps going up.
And is this something that we are eligible when we remortgage our home?
Absolutely. There are certain criteria. Like we recommend people have at least $300,000 in equity to play with. And, you know, the higher the income. At the moment, just to get a loan for any type of property, you need over $100,000 in income.
Yeah.
And then in terms of savings, that's where we can play. It all depends on...
I
It
never
might not
heard
be
about
for
this
this.
one.
For this level, this
Did
is
you
at a
know
higher
about
price
this?
point,
I've
so you
heard
need
that,
some
The
equity.
As an
NDIS
investment.
funding, there's special
But
funding lines.
I received it for my daughter, but I didn't know.
You can build these.
You can build
And we
it.
build them in Queensland, we're building them in Darwin, we're looking at doing it in WA
Risky.
as well.
Keep going.
And New South
Good
Wales.
promotion.
All right. So I've told you the net outcome, that ultimately you'll get $1,000 once you do your depreciation and all the rest of it. And it just means not only are you getting high income, all of a sudden you can pay off this property easily within 10 years using the income. So, and then you've got equity building up in the property as well. When you look at our figures, we actually do an estimation of growth of around 7% per annum. And that's just to keep it conservative again. Sometimes it'll be lower, sometimes higher. So within about 5 years, you'll get around $300,000 of equity growth again. So you can use that equity to purchase and invest in something else. So I'm going to quickly show you a case study. I had this young family. They came to me looking to buy an NDIS. They wanted it for the cash flow. So I have to read this now. They have 2 dependents. They've got a home that's worth $900,000. Half of that is still being mortgaged. So they've got healthy equity in their property, which is what they used to invest. And they bought a property in Queensland. So right now, they're earning almost actually it's probably gone up. They're earning $110,000 gross per annum through this property that they bought 2 years ago. They've got 2 tenants in there. They haven't moved. It's a dual key, so it's comfortable. The 2 tenants are far removed from one another, which is extremely important. Their net income each week is between $700 and $800 in that scenario. Again, I think that needs to be revised up. Those numbers will change based on a person's income. They've got lower income, and they were still able to get one of these. So that's why it's not that $1,000 level. There are always these variables we put in, but still, where else are you going to get $700 to $800 extra in your pocket every week? It's extremely worthwhile. Even $200, mate, give me 50, I'll take it, right? But these properties have a 20-year lifespan because of the setup with the government, and it's bipartisan supported. So it's a safe investment. And if you do it right and you do it through us, you know that not only are you going to get a build that is compliant, you're getting a build that looks good, that is really pleasing to the tenants, and one that's actually going to have tenants in it. Because what's the point, right? You don't. So here are some photos. I'm going to give you a quick slideshow. These are some facades of our co-living and mainly NDIS homes that we've built so far. And I'll show you the interior. So this is This is the kitchen and lounge space. See, it just looks like a normal new home, right? It's got perspex on the entertainment unit in case I like to throw things at the TV. All right, they've got behavioural issues, our robust people. So that's what we have provisos for. The kitchen area, the areas of an NDIS are much larger to allow for wheelchair space. So if you bought a co-living, it'll be a little more compact compared to the spaciousness we need in an NDIS property. But look at that nice new kitchen.
Do you do that?
It's just a nice new, this is a typical bathroom. I mean, you could just find that anywhere. So, so that's pretty much it. That's the end of my presentation, and I've put little things in the middle there. If you want to download a free ebook that can help you understand using equity in your property, or how to get rid of your mortgage, how to build wealth for retirement, just scan that. It'll go to my page, fill in your details, and I'll shoot that across to you. And if you've got any questions, please come and see me. Thank you so much for your time.